Hi everybody, it's Marcy, and I wanted to come back and show you how my paper making went. Now, what I realize is yesterday's video is when I showed my first attempt at actually making the paper. And in reality, it's been 5 days since I did that. So I've made a lot of progress since then and made quite a bit of paper. But first, let's start with what I did mostly on camera. And I told you I was going to try drying the paper 3 different ways. I was going to do oven dry, air dry, and iron drying. So, I think I got some confused. Okay. These are the ones I dried in the oven. And I had my oven set at 175 degrees. I dried them for 40 minutes and they still weren't dry, but I didn't want to leave them any longer. Let me rephrase. This one was dry. These 2 were not. So I went ahead and just took these out and set them on a towel to let them finish drying. Now, one thing I will say, all the papers that I made that first day are really thick. They'll make great tags or something, and of course this one I think was the very first one I made, and it just didn't come out of the mold and decal very well. The second set, so after I dried them in the oven and set them on the towel, by the next morning, these were dry. Okay, then the air dried ones, again, these are very thick. They'd be great for tags or something like that, but not to necessarily fold up to use in a journal or anything. These were dry by the next day, but I did have them hung and sitting in front of a heater. So if I just left these as thick as they are, I'm not sure how long without the heater, I'm not sure how long it would have taken them to dry. Then these are 2 that they started out wet, and I used an iron. I had them sandwiched between 2 pieces of Teflon and iron dried them. I did not dry them completely with the iron, but got them dry enough that I could pull them up off the Teflon and then set them on a towel to finish drying. And they were also dry by the next day. Again, these were very thick, even a thick cardstock than paper thickness. So then after that, I'd seen another method of paper making, so I tried it, and I was not very happy with at all. See how ratty everything looks. Again, I will use these, but very thick. Just not what I was looking for. Okay. And these the iron drying was actually my favorite method. And it's the one, after I'd tried these others, it was the one that I kept going back to. And again, I just sandwiched it between a Teflon underneath, Teflon over it, and ironed it, not completely dry, just dry enough to be able to pick up and move over to a towel to finish drying, and by the next day they were dry. So then I did sort of a modified method, and I started getting much better results. See here, the paper's thinner. It folds like paper. Look at that. I can just fold it. Now this one is still a little thick, but not too bad. So I was really excited about that. Okay, so we're getting better. Then, let's see. I'm going to be showing these somewhat out of order. But, so I found something a way of doing it, and I will have to do a follow-up video at some point to show you what my final deal was. But then I was able to start making, I mean, look at that. Perfect paperweight. So I can fold them to use them in things, good for writing on, stuff like that. So I got all these made, and I was just using various things. Here I've got some floral stuff in it, and the paint had some shimmer to it. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but the paper has a shimmer to it. Look, I got really thin on that one. So really nice. I mean, probably just a hair shade thicker than normal copy weight paper or copy paper weight. That here I used some crumpled up rosebuds. I was a little heavy-handed when I was using the florals, but I'll get better at that as I go along. And I was still, with all of these, I was still using just the shredded paper. I haven't even gotten to the magazine or the cardstock yet. Those, I've got that. And just using different colors and stuff. I'd used some India inks on some. I used acrylic paint mixes with others. Here I had some yarn thread fibers that I put in it. That one, I'm not sure what happened there. This one, again, is really thick. And I'm not sure. I don't remember what happened with that. But, okay. So then, I pulled out some pages out of a magazine and sent them through the shredder, sent them through the blender, and they came out fine. Now, these I didn't color, but I was able to get nice thin sheets just using magazine paper, which was a glossy magazine. And then I moved on and I did a few with just scrapbook paper. And what I discovered, I had all sorts of different, and it was scrapbook cardstock. Now that, I did let it soak in water for about 24 hours after I shredded it. And I was just using scraps of various scrapbook paper. I had a bin that had scrapbook paper scraps in it, and I just sent them through the shredder and then soaked them in water for about 24 hours. But what I do like about the scrapbook paper is, because some of it was solid core, some of it had foil accents on it. So it left nice specks in the paper, and I really like that. It gives it some design without being too large. So I really did like that. And again, I was able to get some of it nice and thin. So we've got that. And of course, it is an imperfect thing. I will still use these, but, you know, I had a torn corner, stuff like that. So, lots of fun. So then, as my final thing, before I had to put it all away for a while, I still had some of the scrapbook paper and a little bit of the paper I'd first started with that was just normal weight paper. So I mixed the two. And again, nice thin sheets. And I still got some of the specks in it. And this again has a little bit of a sheen to it because of the acrylic paint I was using. It's sort of an iridescent paint, so it gives it a little bit of a shimmer to the paper. So I got these. Got that one. I'm not sure. I somehow didn't get it poured evenly. Probably when I was running out. This one came out a little thick. I had too much pulp in the bin, but that's okay. We've got that. But see, I love those specks. It gives it, just adding a little bit of scrapbook in with my regular paper stuff, gave me some good, I don't even know what to call it, but I like it. And that one, and then this one, I did a large sheet. I actually prefer this size. It's a little easier to work with. This one is harder for me to get out of the molded decal well. So, that is, in addition to what you all saw me do on camera, which were the very first, that was the first time I'd done any paper making at all. So between then, where we've got really thick stuff that I can use for tags, to now where I've got nice sheets of paper that can actually be written on and used. So in a matter of 5 days, I got that figured out somewhat. I mean, it's still, this one is not going to be the exact same thickness as this one. Each one is going to be a little different, but I did pretty well get it figured out and got all these papers made. And I will do another video with my sort of modified method at a later date. I've spent 5 days playing with paper making and now have to move on to some other things for a bit. But I wanted to share with you what I'd managed to get done thus far. So that's it for now, guys. Until next time, I wish you all a wonderfully happy, crafty day. And I will talk to you all again very soon. Bye-bye.